Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Friday, March the 1st. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Monthly open, weekly wrap-up with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the monthly chart here, since it is the first day of the month. And you can see we're 12 pips above the open, 12 off the high, and 28 above the low for the month so far in March. And you can notice how last month was a down month, the month of February. And so far for the week, we still have 4 open gaps, all New Zealand pairs. And so I'm not sure what happened with New Zealand this week, but the pairs are down. For the pound, we are 36 pips below the weekly open, 64 off the high and 28 off the low. So you can see here, we've had an inside bar week and just not much range at all. And today, we actually got out of the inside bar range for the year by about 4 pips, it looks like. We're now above the monthly open. We are in the inside bar range for the year. We are below the inside bar range for, let's see, for the month. It looks actually for last month, and it's hard to tell here, but it looks like we're still inside that range, because we've got a new month here, so we're putting in the opening range for the month today. For the year, we are 85 pips below the open, 149 off the high, 118 above the low. On the pound, we had an inside bar 3 days ago. We are below that by 24 pips, but we are still within the weekly inside bar from 10 weeks ago. We actually broke the low today, but we pulled back up, and we are inside the monthly inside bar of 2 months ago. For the day, we only have 40 pips of range. I mean, sometimes we'll have H1 bars of 40 pips, but not today. Only 2 pairs over 100 pips, the pound yen and the euro yen. And I can see that the dollar yen is still above 150, but I don't know if you remember or not when I called out if the dollar yen hit 150.50, I was thinking about shorting. It dropped about almost 50 pips from that level, but it obviously has bounced back up. And you can see here the buy zone. We've crisscrossed that daily open a few times, but once again, with only 40 pips of range, not much happening. So the rats have to almost take a pause here, because the range is too small to consider the rat zone. Pivot trading plan, Bambino Flex said the short at the pivot, and it looks like that's paid off a couple of times so far, and we're nowhere near S1. And we've taken out the H4 pivots of recent. We've taken out today's pivot. We've taken out the weekly pivot. And for the month, we've already taken out the monthly pivot on the first day of the month. Wick zone, yesterday's wick zone, we've been in and out of the lower wick zone, once to the south side, the rest to the north. And for the smart ranges, let's see, for the week we're at 92 pips. That's the worst, that's the lowest week in the last 12 weeks, only 92 pips, sports fans, and it's an inside bar, so no breakouts of the previous week's high and low. High minus the close right now is at 66, close minus the low at 26 for anybody trading the weekly rat zone. For the weekly buy zone or weekly open crossover traders, high minus open 28, open minus low 64. I almost feel like the weatherman, Walmal, giving
Yeah,
these out.
you just rattling the numbers off there. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just said something that had a little bit to it. I was just looking at the smart ranges over the last 5-6 days, and it's like absolutely incredible. I mean, last Friday was 53, and then it just went 53, 43, 36, 65, 69. I mean, these numbers are so depressed. It's unbelievable. And you know what happens when you get numbers that are like that. They may stay there for a while, but when they bust out, they usually bust out pretty big. So, we got to keep our gunpowder dry and wait for those opportunities. And when that opportunity comes along, it may be a really good opportunity for some people.
Yeah, speaking of opportunity, have you taken a look at what crypto's done this week?
I really didn't. At the beginning of the week, I looked a little bit, but I haven't looked. Just so you traders know, I've had COVID all week, so that's why I haven't been around. But no, I really didn't pay that much attention. Before we jump to that, I want to give a little insight about something you said. You had said that you didn't know why the New Zealand went and gapped the way it gapped. The reason why it gapped was because their governor went and came out and said that they were going to go and leave the central bank rate unchanged until 2025. But so basically, the entire year of 2024, they are not going to do any rate changes whatsoever. So that caused some reshuffling of where people thought that the New Zealand dollar was going to go.
Oh, okay. Thanks. So let's see. Let's look at the year-to-date accumulated range. Only 267 pips. Now, if you look for the month of February, you can see. So that's the lowest over the past 20 years. I mean, it's just, there's just no movement.
Yeah.
None. And if we take a quick look here at the range for the month, we only had 254 pips of movement in February and only 189. So far, this year is starting out as a dud.
Yeah, it's starting out very, very small. And the other thing, too, is if you go back and look at even December. Now, December is usually a smaller number, but it's not, ridiculously small. I mean, what I see for December was we had a range of 189. I mean,
no, you mean January we had 189. December we had 328.
December 327. Yeah, I misread it. Sorry, but still, I mean, January 189, December 254. But even December of 327, that's still low. That should still be about 400.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Yeah, because I've got the chart up here showing the last 20 years, or the current year and the previous 19 years. But it's there's just not much movement out there, sports fans. There really isn't.
Yeah.
So we had a lower high and a lower low last month on the monthly. For the weekly, once again, we're going to put in an inside bar unless we have an explosion for the rest of the day, but it looks like the traders aren't paying attention to that. There was something else. Walmal, you said you wanted to talk to the traders about something.
There's been a lot of gossip out there right now concerning prop firms and what's going on. And I don't know how many of our traders, go and use a prop firm or looking to use a prop firm. Well, there's been controversy out there because it looks like a lot of these prop firms are not allowing U.S.-based traders who actually participate. And some of them are going, there's all types of rumors out there about what's going on, what's not going on. And, my first word, I guess, what I want to say is that, okay, first of all, one, be cautious, but at the same time, don't necessarily believe all the gossip that's out there. I mean, and the perfect example of that was, there people out there are now saying that, FOREX is coming to an end because prop firms going to the end are ending now, and what's happening is because prop firms are going to disappear, and FOREX is going to disappear, And, I think that's probably an overreaction to what's actually happening. And a perfect example of this happening in the past was just a couple of years ago. If and I think Avery, you'll go remember this, but in the euro market, everybody thought that FOREX was ending because ESMA came, and basically re-regulated everything about how FOREX was going to be traded, for our European partners. And for a period of time, our European partners really couldn't trade because of all the new regulations and stuff that came in, and it really put a crimp on their style for them. But in the end, what it did was it actually made it better, because what happened was they were on the European side having a lot of problems where there was a lot of unscrupulous brokers out there who were doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. And with all the new regulation, and I hate regulation probably more than most, but at the same time, what it did was it forced a lot of these bucket chops to basically leave the market or clean their act up. And I think that at least I hope anyway, that that's what's probably going to happen here as well, is that as different regulators get involved, and things may get straightened out. Now you understand something with these prop firms. We had an explosion of all these new prop firms over the last 5-6 years, and now it's like unbelievable. I wouldn't even say it was an explosion. I don't even know what the word would be. It just, the number of new prop firms that have popped up. Sorry for the pun there, but it's gone through the roof. Every time you turn around, there was, it seemed like there was another 10 of them that showed up on the doorstep. And, when you get that, it's like a gold rush. And when you have a gold rush like that, well, unfortunately, you start to get bad actors. And what's the number one rule for regulators? What is their guiding light? They're supposed to go in and protect, consumers. And there were a bunch of consumers apparently who made a lot of complaints about this prop firm went and stole my money. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just somebody who's really not a trader and just thought this was, a get rich, scheme. You put $1 in the machine, you pull a handle, and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. And that didn't happen, and they're mad because they, plopped down $300, $400 to go and get an account. And next thing you know, they didn't get an account. They lost $300 or $400 and they make a complaint. Well, excuse me. But, if you get all those type of complaints, well, the regulators have got no choice but to step in and do what regulators do and investigate. And next thing you know, probably good firms had some things that needed to be cleaned up, and some bad firms needed to be cleaned out, and I think that that's where we're at right now, is that we're in a situation right now. If you're a U.S. trader and you're looking to go and get a prop firm, maybe the best thing is to sit on your hands and wait for the dust to settle on all this, and for real rules to come out, and to actually guide this all the way through. The other thing that's coming through, that's probably going to come through in all this, is that the reality is that MediQuotes has had a dominating effect over the entire market, the entire industry, and that's good and it's bad. It's good because it means that all the resources go in developing software, applications, indicators, EAs, whatever. But the bad thing about that is it sometimes goes in, stops development because there's no competition to do it. Well, a lot of folks are now saying that what they're starting to see is that there are other platforms that now starting to say, hey, we have the ability to now go and try to help traders out more, and people are starting to see that, there are other options out there. And when I say people, I mean different brokers and such.
Yeah, so, and you know what?
We're probably out of time.
Yeah, yep, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is over. We'll probably definitely continue that discussion and some others. So, fellow traders, I hope you had a profitable February. I'm going to wish you a profitable month. And once again, thanks for tuning in and watching and listening to the videos. And when you come back to trade next week, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.